Now, on to the second half. I'll go through this one a little bit faster. These are some of my favorite webcomics. Obviously, most of you probably all know what a webcomic is. It's just going on with the times, moving from the serial comics that you find in newspapers online. It allows artists to control the content a lot more closely, syndicate it as they want, have their own website, better advertising, make money off of their own advertising, sell their own products, all that sort of stuff. And there's quite a few webcomic authors and artists that make their money, all their income solely from those webcomics. So there's thousands of webcomic artists out there, and a lot of them are really, really good artists. And some of my favorites, first up is Questionable Content, about an emo kid who tries to find love and fails and goes through the motions and has a shitty job, and it's very, I hate to say it, relatable. But the writing's good and has, likable characters, and I've been following it for years now, so I'm kind of stuck with it, seeing where it goes. Where's Martin gonna go? Is he ever gonna get back together? It's kind of like a soap opera. Oh boy, I feel used. Next up, 8-bit theater. It's changed a lot. I haven't gone and read in a very long time, but used originally, and maybe different. The comic I just pulled up could be the new art style, and I may be wrong. Maybe couldn't use those sprites anymore. The original comics used the 8-bit sprites from the old school Final Fantasy games. Black Mage, White Cleric, Red Warrior, that kind of stuff, or Blue Mage, etc. And they Red Mage, and they went on hilarious adventures, sort of breaking the fourth wall, knowing that they were going on these adventures to, for example, I'll link the very first one, which the warrior's like, we're on a trip to the Cave of No Return for the Armor of Invincibility, and the mage is like, why would anybody know what is in a Cave of No Return? Yeah, it's funnier when you read it. It's good stuff. Haven't followed that in a while, but maybe I'll catch up now. Next up is the Perry Bible Fellowship. Nothing at all to do with the Bible. It is a 3-panel strip normally, where the first 2 panels are normal, taking you somewhere, and then the third twisted around. M. Night Shyamalan's your ass. And it's hilarious. A lot of them are really funny. Some of them are very unexpected, and I think you'll probably enjoy quite a few of them. If you're a fan there, Next up, XKCD, which is a nerds comic. The guy who does it uses math and science in a lot of his jokes, and there's a whole website set up to explain the XKCD of the day, which I'll link that as well. And it's pretty funny that there's a webcomic that requires explanation in case you don't get it. He has done the maps of the internet. If you've probably seen it linked around, maybe, where it lists based on the size and population of different social networks or sites on the internet. He geographically maps them onto a map. So Facebook is this ridiculously huge thing. MySpace is kind of small. Yahoo Groups is fairly large. Guy Online, 4chan, and all these different social groups. And I'm sure you've probably seen, he's the one that does those, and they're in the archive somewhere. There's usually an XKCD comic for every situation of some kind. It's very referenceable. Next up is Quants. It's a comic that uses the same exact art panels every day that a new comic goes up. The only thing that changes is the writing. It's about a T-Rex, his friends, and him stepping on a lady, and all kinds of different things. And it's definitely worth a check out. It's fairly unique. Next up is the final one, which might offend the most people, but it's funny. It's very sexual in nature, very, very sexual in nature. It's kind of the point, I guess, and it's still quite hilarious. It's called Oglaf or Oglaf. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but you just kind of, the artistry is really good, but you might not agree with the content at all. So don't let your kids, unless you want to. But it's fun. So check it out. Final thing, it's not either of these related, but it's something I post on my Facebook page that I really, really want, so I thought I'd talk about it and share it with more people. Just because it's really cool, too. It's essentially it's called Modernist Cuisine. It's an encyclopedia for food, the science and knowledge of food, essentially. The writers and people who did this book, or set of books, went into extremely deep detail and to leave nothing out. They go into stuff as sort of obscure as the foodborne illnesses, viruses, bacteria, all of that, fungus, all that sort of stuff has its own chapter in the book. They go into the history of food, fundamentals, and then they have like, what was it, 1,500 recipes or 500 recipes, something like that. A lot of recipes in there as well that take into account using essentially lab science for food. And it's a sort of newer method of cooking, but there's a number of them out there. And it's really cool. There's a whole chapter on foams, which I didn't. Well, I knew about them, but I never used them. So I'm going to probably save up and get that. If I get it, maybe I'll do a review on it and talk to you about that at some point. Website of the day. I had one. But yes, for the webcomics, it's website of the day. It's Topatico. They sell T-shirts and books and art books and lithographs and posters. Pretty much a lot of, not mainstream, but a lot of webcomics use Topatico as sort of their merchant account, I guess. Sort of their store, and it works really well. It's just checking it out. If you like anything from the webcomics, a lot of times you can buy T-shirts and stuff from there. I never buy anything, but there's a bunch that I want. Yeah, I should probably get them at some point. Anyways, this has been episode 6 of Megbert's Musings, and Cassie is... No, she's... Right. I can't. Right there. Not helping at all. And... I'll check you later.